I was evicted when I was 14. We were kicked off the island. We couldn't live in Hawaii. Had no place to live. My mom and I came home, and I'll never forget, the rent was $180 a week, and there was an eviction notice on the door. My mom started crying, and I never forgot in that moment. It was a seminal moment for me because I felt like I never want to be in this position again. What can I do? What can I do? And then when I moved to Nashville, I was arrested multiple times by the time I was 16 years old. And I'm 23 years old. I am forced to move back in with my parents. You want to tackle the world, and you have all these dreams. And none of it came true. 16,000 people were chanting "Rocky sucks." I remember laying there in the ring, and the referee said to me, "Don't listen to him," and it was crippling for me. In that moment, it was very defining because I asked then if I could just be myself, and if I could go out there, and if I can speak to the crowd, and if I don't want to smile, I don't smile. If I want to laugh, I laugh. If I want to sing, I sing. Whatever it is, I just want to be me. So on Raw, live TV, I grabbed a microphone and I said,
"Well, Rocky might be as a lot of things, but sucks isn't one of them."
The thing that has worked for me is to remember the hard times. Like, I remember that, and it allows me then to be present in the moment. The importance and the power of finding your identity and being true to who you are. Even in that wild world of pro wrestling, it still applies to everyone in the room. The most powerful thing that we can be is ourselves. When I first got to Hollywood, they didn't know what the hell to do with me. I mean, I was this half black, half Samoan, 6'4", 275-pound pro wrestler. You know, I was told at that time, well, you gotta be a certain way. You gotta drop some weight. You gotta be somebody different. You gotta stop working out. Stop doing the things that I love. You gotta stop calling yourself The Rock. I was miserable doing that, so I made a choice. And the choice was, I wasn't gonna conform to Hollywood. Hollywood was gonna conform to me. My name is The Rock, and I come from the world of professional wrestling, and I look the way I look, and I talk the way I talk, and I love to work out, and you know what? This is who I'm gonna be. And then here I am today. Yes, it's important that you are your most authentic self. I'm a walking example of that, but that's not enough. Because there's another side to being your authentic self, your true self. And that's the side that the magic is on. That's the side that's gold. And while, yes, it's important to be yourself, you gotta recognize the joy and the responsibility of bringing everybody with you. And you do that by being kind, by being compassionate, by being inclusive, and straight up just being good to people, because that matters. That's when everything changed. It's like a shift and click moment for me when I realized there's great power in being myself. What helps me is to keep the hard times in the front of my mind, because it allows me to go into these big moments with a different perspective. So that said, I leave you with this. When I was 15 years old, I heard a quote, and I will never forget it, and I bring it with me everywhere I go, and it's ingrained in my DNA. The quote is this: "It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice."